what did Richard Sherman tweet? Like, I told y'all. He's tweeted like I told y'all like 3 times last week. Anytime the Niners defense had an interception.
I've been DMing with him about Emmanuel Mosley since their Super Bowl season. He loves that guy. Loves him. That's his guy, I think. Emmanuel Mosley. Like, he thinks Emmanuel Mosley is like I bet if you ask him, he'd think he's like going to get $15 million when the season's over as an unrestricted free agent, which is not, he could have a great season. I don't know if he's quite fast enough to get paid, but like if he has a really good season, does he, get second tier starting money? Maybe not Ward, but like 10 million, 7 million,
Yeah.
8 million.
I mean, Sherman might say fast enough. Like there are exceptions to the rule on fast enough, right?
Wasn't he one?
Yeah, I'm the exception to the rule.
And like Sherman, Mosley could tackle, and he's got good ball skills. Just one-on-one speed, he's gonna lose to a lot of receivers.
Yeah, I mean,
Ward's big.
Changing his number to 4 feels like that helped. Mosley just looks better in 4.
Yeah,
E-Man.
I agree.
Him and Ward on the other having Charvarius, I think probably helps him too, right? Like if I told you Emmanuel Mosley 2 years ago, that's going to be your best corner. A few years ago, you would have said, I don't know. It became pretty clear pretty quickly that he belonged on the field, though, right? So him and Ward and the linebackers, Elshire and Greenlaw and Warner that you mentioned, and Jimmy Ward and Hufunga or Tarvarius Moore, and Bosa and Armstead and Ebukam and Drake Jackson and big-ass Charles Omenihu, who stands out when Armstead's not there as a very tall guy, and all the interior linemen we talked about. And, Kinlaw, we'll see. Trent Williams said afterwards he thinks it's the best defense in the league. We were talking to our buddy Chris Biederman on the sideline, and he's like, they got a chance to be the best defense in the league. And I kind of looked at him like, I don't know. And then you start thinking about it. It's not crazy. I think last year, all the talk, remember, we talked to Joe Staley about it on the podcast. Could this team be better than the 19 team? But I think the question really, and it was Biederman that said it, could this defense be better than the 19 defense, which was obviously had Buckner. Best corner was Sherman. Bosa was an ass kicker already.
I'd say Jimmy Ward was kind of coming into his own. Jimmy's a much better player now. Just an established high-end player.
Linebacker group's more established probably right now than it was then.
It's better now. The D-line is not as good. I mean, they're starting D-line. When they rolled out healthy D Ford, Buckner, Armstead, Bosa's better, but
was already great.
Buckner was awesome.
Yeah.
I think their defense could be really, really good. Their front seven, we noticed a couple times, like Drake Jackson, I think it's insane. And listen, some D linemen get weird character stuff. They can be weird guys. Like, you don't have to be arrested and get in trouble to be a questionable character guy with D linemen. They can just they're just different cats. And sometimes people question stuff, and it's why they become in the draft. Some guys go different spots than others, right? You're like, how'd this guy go pick 50? Because you got questions. But there's a reason, even the worst guys, they don't fall that far. I think it's insane that he fell that far because he had top 20 tape. Now, part of it was his weight fluctuated. I truly believe this. I was saying this to someone out of practice. If you put Drake Jackson the last couple years playing for Kyle Whittingham or Mario, just a consistent program where nothing was changing all the time, and he just got to play, focus on really good defenses, there's no way on God's green earth that the Niners sniff him with that. I mean, it was their only pick, right? Because they had traded for Trey Lance. Yeah, I bet he goes really high. I mean, I bet he's a first round talent. He's quick. He can bend. He's strong. He's athletic as shit.
That's measurables, right?
He's just what you want as a pass rusher. So to me, part of the deal last year was it was incredible what Kasurik did around Nick Bosa with random other ends. How's this guy not going to really help Nick Bosa as just multiple ends coming off? Because that they can create interior stuff with Armstead, Hyder, or the randos. I don't worry about the D tackles. He just keeps throwing those guys. It's just guards and centers are kind of average. It is harder to manipulate edge rush. You got to be kind of good to get just most tackles. Most teams pay their tackles a lot of money. And I think he could be an immediate problem, in a good way for the Niners. And also, if Bosa just needs a breath. They were very they felt like last year a little. You remember some of those defenses with a Khalil Mack on it with the Raiders, where it's like very dependent on him, and rightfully so. When you got a Khalil Mack, you got a Nick Bosa, but goddamn, if you just get him a little help, it's just like Jesus. I think Drake Jackson could be the curveball on this season of just like, because again, the Willises, the Ebicam, like they have a lot of high energy, high end, Kasurik just pushing those guys. It's another thing to have a high energy, high talent. That's what Bosa is, and he's unstoppable.
Right.
That's what the 19 D line was. Bosa, Armstead, Buckner, Ford, all top 20 picks.
It was blue chip and blue collar,
and kicked ass and took names.
And I don't for everything that Nick Bosa is, and he's a better player probably than. I mean, he's a better player if there's a draft than DeForest Buckner, right? Nick Bosa will go ahead of DeForest. But DeForest is, because of his size, just at the top of the blue chip list of any player I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to get blue chippier than that guy. It's crazy that him and Eric Armstead were on the same NFL team, let alone on the same college team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about
even why one guy went 7th, the other guy who was an underachiever in college went like Armstead went like 15th or 16th or 17th. Major underachiever. Eric Armstead easily went top 20.
And now he's become, if you had known he would have the career he's had, would he have gone higher than he did?
I mean, how does he not go like single high 7, 8, 9, 10, right?
We have to go back and look at that draft, but yeah, I mean, so I mean, what we're talking about on that 19D line is outliers, even in blue chip, outliers even among blue chips. Nick Bosa is an outlier even among blue chip guys. DeForest is definitely an outlier even among blue chip guys. But passing league, play with the lead. Your secondary's better, right? So maybe this defense can be the bottom line. It doesn't matter if this defense is as good or is good, better than the 19 defense. The fact is that team went to the Super Bowl because of its defense. And this team has a chance if they're going to win 11, 12 games. I think the first thing will be because of its defense. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean, obviously the run game too, but
again, I think philosophically on those really good Ravens teams, not last year, but the previous couple of years where they were competing to be the 1 seed, hosting playoff games, that's how the Niners want to play. Again, stylistically different. Their quarterback's not going to run like Lamar, but in terms of just run heavy, kick your ass on defense. What's weird, I don't even know. The Ravens have lost a lot of players, but when Biederman said that, I was like, are they going to be better on defense? A healthy Ravens and a healthy Steelers? Feels like I don't know.
He said might. He said might, which is the
wouldn't you say this though? They just need to be a top 5 defense, and that's fine. I'm not looking for the 85
right.
Bears.
If you told me they're a top 5 defense, then I tell you they got a chance to win the division, right?
Well, it's weird. I think some people dropped like they were the 3rd best defense last year. It's like, well, their secondary was their corners were atrocious.
Every time the ball went, Niners basically, if the ball went in the air more than 15 yards on offense or defense, you held your breath, right?
Yeah.
The Jimmy was throwing it up, or it was. I'll never forget. You were there, right? Were you there? Was that the Ambry interception game? Were you there for the Ambry interception game?
Yeah,
you were.
I was.
When the ball was in the air, it's like Odell's over there. Oh no! Right? And Ambry intercepted it. I will never forget that moment. Do you remember that moment?
I do. That was the play I'll never forget in that game is the Jimmy pass to Debo. Well, the first time when Kyle punted under 2 minutes with 3 timeouts, they get the ball back, and Debo, great pass, best pass of Jimmy's career to Debo to gain him like 60 yards, and they ended up scoring.
The Jalen Ramsey going horizontal dive.